I'm so glad you are here. It's the Wednesday Live for December 11th, 2024. Let's talk about what's going on because there's some cool stuff coming up. So this weekend, of course, I'm teaching Herbs Year 2 tonight. Shh, don't tell. To be determined the location, however, and I will get to that news in a few minutes. Tomorrow we'll have the live about herbs. So if there's something you want to see in particular, please, by all means, send me a message. You can do that through any of the platforms you see here. I'm happy to talk about the herbs you want to hear about and the ways you want to hear about them. So if you want me to concentrate on the magic, I can do that. If you want me to concentrate on the traditional medicinal uses, I can do that. That said, on Saturday, this coming Saturday the 14th, Standing Stone's next class is taking place. This is class number 4, so this is elements number 1. So if you've ever been curious about the 4 elements that are commonly used in a lot of different kinds of magic and worship, this is a great class to come check out. This will be their 4th class in their series, but you don't have to have attended any of the previous classes for this one. And they'll cover the second half of the elements number 2, in January on the 11th. They're going to do earth and air this Saturday. So you get to delve into the symbolism of the earth, all that stability, that peace and quiet, and the air, and how quickly it moves, and how we associate it with quickness of the mind and other factors. So should be a really fun class. It's getting fantastic reviews. The teaching crew has just been wonderful to have here. We're hoping to have them on as guests soon here, but I have a moratorium right now on guests. I'm gearing up for next year. So bear with me on that. Other events coming up on the 15th Sunday, if you register, we can absolutely get you that Reiki 1 class and attunements so that you can become a Reiki 1 practitioner. There will, of course, be the energy work live. That's a short one at about 11:15, just like this one, and a meditation on Monday, and of course, a little talk about magic on Tuesday. Now, the 21st, the winter solstice, we have events galore. We are opening the vault downstairs, so if you want to come and check out what's new in our used higher end stuff, this is the weekend for you. I'll be there. I will help guide you through the whole process and really get you to the fun books that you might want to take a serious look at. At 4 p.m., Tim is teaching a free class on his altar plates. I brought one in so you could see what we're talking about. So this is an example, actually, this is an example of my most favoriteest of his altar plates. There are a number of them I love, but this is my fave because these little spots here and here, the 6 of these are meant for you to personalize the plate every time you use it. And by the way, the script is on the plate too. So there's no memorizing. It's so easy to start your ceremonial journey, your Enochian journey with his work. And it's not because these are empty and you get to fill them. It's not restricted to what he might envision you would use. You could decide to use it all with deities from some other pantheon, and that's just fine. The working remains the same. So you are going to put in what empowers you to make this request in your spell working, the gods, the angels, what have you, that you're going to put here. These are the authority and power that are lent to you for this action. These are the deities, spirits, ancestors, what have you, that undertake the action for you. They're the one doing the work. And you just get to go through. It is my absolute will that the intentions placed here be made manifest. That's where the script starts. And you just read your way up and you get to do the whole thing. It's a really cool plate. But if you want to talk to the maker of these plates, his name is Tim. He'll be here on the 21st for a free class at 4 p.m. It's going to be a blast. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. Palmistry 101 will be on Sunday the 22nd. This is a by donation class. There's more than one in his series. So even if you've come to one, you may want to come to this one because it may be covering a different aspect of palm reading. whether we're talking about the lines or the mounts or bumps on your hands. He has such an in-depth knowledge, Chris does, that he's just a blast to listen to on these. I have personal friends who have taken his classes twice so that they can really absorb more of his information. It's just fascinating. And he, by the way, is responsible for us getting our fabulous light back. So I want to shout out to Chris for giving us a new stand for our lighting. It was really generous, but it's so stable and steady now. It's just a wonder to work with. So thank you, Chris. What else have we got coming up here? Reiki Share will be on Sunday the 29th. So if you have any experience with Reiki, any levels, if you're level 1, level 2, or level 3, and you have just had an exhausting, whether positive or negative, exhausting time with extended family and friends, and you need a little bit of Reiki work, let's come trade. We'll do some shares with our Reiki. Then that's noon on the 29th. So this should be a fun month. I will remind you too, especially as the new year is coming, you might really want to come and get a reading. So right now, Tracy is reading for us. Tracy Hockner is reading for us on Sundays. She is a joy to have here. She's here from noon to 6 the whole day. Paul is here on Mondays to interpret your dreams from about 2 o'clock until 6 p.m. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Ravenwolf is doing tarot readings from 3 to 6 p.m. On Fridays, Winter is reading for us from 1 to 5. And on Saturdays, Ravenwolf is back from noon until at least 2 p.m. But sometimes he just can't resist hanging out. And I know he's looking forward to Tim's class. So he'll probably be available for readings at least until that class starts on Saturday the 21st. That's our big events. Very excited about all of that and all of our lovely readers. Let me show you some of the things that have come in and a little preview of something that is coming in this week. So we have had, not grab bags, because we did that just a couple months ago, but I have a lot of great used books. So we're having grab books. I just wrapped this, or no, I didn't just wrap this one. This one's on Eastern philosophy, so it's 3 books, $12. So it's at least 20% off what we would have sold them for on the floor. So it is a bargain and a mystery. This one's on Eastern philosophy. There've been lots of sets on astrology. So I think there's still one out there now. I just wrapped up this one on Kabbalah. So while I can't tell you exactly what's in it, I can actually promise you there's at least one that you will consider a classic on Kabbalah. And there's one that deals with what I would call personal power and raising your own energy and increasing your own personal power through studying the Kabbalah. So it's really good set of used books in here. Highly going to recommend that particular set if you're into Kabbalah. Now, the things we've had come in are our Fred Souls order finally got here. Yay, hooray for Fred and the crew down in Arizona. If you are already a fan of this incense, just know that at the moment, we have every flavor that we're able to get from them in stock. But if you are not a fan yet, or you're a fan and you want to spread the love, there is something I have done, not every Yule, but many a Yule, that I love doing, which is I will buy a pack, and as I'm wrapping gifts for friends, particularly my friends, the family of choice, in the bow that I stick on top, I will slide in 1 or 2 of these sticks. This is a great way to just add a little something extra to the gift and, spread the love. I mean, it's the good stuff, right? We all know that. Resin on a stick. Now, the other thing that came in this week already is a book and tarot deck order. So I have quite a few of these box sets that we have been carrying all year that are back in stock. The Tarot Apocalypsis has been a really huge hit. Line Strider's been wonderful. If you have any David Bowie fans, Starman Tarot, Raven's Prophecy is another one that we just have a hard time keeping in stock. And the other one that we're having a tough time keeping in stock in the sets is the Celtic Tarot. Now I have to say that the one we're having a tough time keeping in stock in our regular decks, our regular size decks, is the Yokai Tarot. And I'm out already again. So it'll be coming in next week. Now the regular decks, the smaller boxes, they come with a little guidebook 99.5% of the time. I think I've had one deck that did not. These kits come with a full-sized guidebook, not and a regular sized deck. So don't be fooled. I've had a couple people think the deck was going to be the size of the box. It's not. The book is the size of the box, basically, not the deck. The deck is going to be a standard size deck almost always. And if you need or you want to gild the lily a little, don't forget, from local crafters, we have these fantastic boxes, perfect for storing oracle decks, rune sets, tarot decks. Some of them are just big enough to hold a deck and not much bigger, while others are big enough to hold several decks. I love this one, I just think it's cute. Several decks, or the book as well as the deck if you have the full set. So like this one, this dragonfly one that I love, would be perfect to accompany one of these full-size sets because it can hold the deck and the book that's going to come with it in here. So these are gorgeous. And you're seeing in the boxes, you're seeing the work of one of the Marys, who's fabulous, and Angie, also lovely. They both also offer jewelry, and Mary also offers some paintings here in the store. And let me tell you, we love having Liz Kilmer's art in here. She's starting to bring in the prints because people are starting to really request them and want them, particularly for the one I keep trying to show you guys that I just can't quite get the camera set up right on my computer so you can really see the painting that everybody is just head over heels with. It's gorgeous. It keeps the autofocus on the camera. It keeps putting my head in front of the painting. So at some point, maybe I'll just do a short on it. So look for maybe on Instagram or on Twitter. Twitter? No, not Twitter. We don't do Twitter. What's the one? TikTok. That's the one I'm thinking of. TikTok, you might see a short about there on there. Or since I've set up the account on Blue Sky, maybe that'll be the first thing I do on Blue Sky for us. Haven't quite gotten there yet, but I did get us registered. Yes. So this is the fabulous world of events, readers, and stuff. Oh, and one last bit. Now this one's scheduled to arrive on Friday. We're gonna keep breathing though, see if it really shows up on Friday. But we had our first statue order a little while ago, maybe 6-8 weeks ago. And what we got was a whole collection of different sizes and colorings of the Millennial Gaia, because we've always carried her. She's sort of like the patron goddess of the store in some ways. Well, I needed to get a whole bunch more because we'd sold out of a lot of the different sizes and colorations. Like this one in the blue and green is gone. The smaller ones are gone. I have one big one and I have one what I would call medium-sized ones. These are the two really larger ones. And I have this bronze beauty left in this size. But since we're ordering and we're trying to kind of expand what we've got going as we travel forward through time, but it's time to get the patron god of Magus Books. And let's face reality. She is sweet. She is heavenly. She is luscious and life. Baphomet. Baphomet is the one we need to get next. So a whole bunch of different sizes and finishes are coming. And as I said, they theoretically should be here Friday. So by all means, give us a call. If you're interested, make sure they've arrived and they're out and you can get one, or just stop by. We're good with that too. Check out our website because we will put them up online as well when they come in. So excited for those, very happy they're coming, and then we'll expand from there. So if you have a statue you're looking for, let us know. It may take us a couple months per order, but we're interested in getting the statues you guys are interested in. So let me know. Leave a note in the comments wherever you're watching us, and we'll work on getting in what you need. Okay, that's stuff. I promise, that's stuff. So what are we talking about today? Well, I've mused about a few things over the course of the day. See, autofocus on that camera. If I move, it moves. But one of the things I keep coming back to and looking at are, especially at this time of year, is that idea of letting go of the past and getting ready for the newness that's coming. So for some people, January 1st is the start of the new year. That's technically like the cultural new year for the most of the world, right? But for those of you who maybe have looked at Wicca a little more closely, the year closed at Halloween or Samhain, which looks like Samhain for those of you who are book taught pagan, Wiccan, or witchy folks, and begins again at Yule, when the sun comes back after the longest night. So this is the time where we shed the things we need to let go of from the previous year. That's what I think of this time of year for, this 6 weeks from the end of October until the 21st of December. For me, it's a time to look back, see what worked and embrace it, and see what didn't quite work, and do what you can to change what you can change about how you move forward when you're in those situations again. Learn from the mistakes, learn from what you've done. I think that's the smartest thing you can do. And to let go of any harms, any resentments, any festering little angers or negative emotions, because I find those emotions incredibly useful when they help me change how I approach things. But having them hang around longer than that, it really just brings me down. It really just handicaps my forward motion. So I tend to try and learn from those things, forgive who I need to forgive, whether that's other people or myself, and move on. And hope that people will understand that I'm a work in progress, just like everybody else on the planet is. That we are who we are in the moment, and that we do the best we can, and we all move forward from there. So I'm really looking forward to that. As far as rituals for that, I've had all kinds of things come up over time, from writing things down on paper. We've even done this one in the store. You write something down, you put it in the cauldron, knowing that we're going to burn them all later. Which was what we've done, usually in somebody's grill, to be perfectly honest, because it's the easiest way to do it. Little bonfire, never hurt anybody, right? Good bonfire, you can get rid of a lot of negativity in a good bonfire, I tell you. And then you have a bonfire to dance around, whether it's elevated in my little grill or whether it's in my fire bowl in my front yard. Works really well. But I've seen people then, after that, look at what good came out of the year and do a little weaving work. Maybe they make themselves a cord by braiding something or tying knots for each of the things that they have succeeded at. They want to capture some of that goodness to move it forward into the next year for themselves. I think that's a great approach. Doesn't have to be that elaborate. You could just light a candle in gratitude for what you've done well, thanking whomever has helped you get through that process, be it your gods, yourself, your friends, your family, that one character in that one novel that just got you through it and gave you a new direction to try, the tarot reader who presented you with a couple of options that you just weren't coming up with on your own, that empowered you to make a better choice than you could have made if you hadn't had that conversation. Thank them. Thank them spiritually. Light that candle maybe, thank them that way, thank them with a little bit of meditation where you express your gratitude to them. Maybe also give them a little gift. That's not a bad way to go about it either. There's a custom in some parts of the world of these little red envelopes that you fill with a treat. It's usually cash, I'm not gonna lie, that you present to people who have helped you grow, who have helped you to learn something new, whether it's a new skill, something new about yourself. This is a way of repaying some of the debt you owe that teacher, whether they intended to teach you or not. It used to be that you would give them a gift, but as cash became more prevalent, it became more common to simply give them a little bit of money, and the pretty little red envelopes that sometimes you'll find here are a great way to do that as well. So you can actually express your gratitude directly if it's a living person you're talking about. If it's an ancestor, a guide of some kind, a spirit guide, an animal guide, that is ethereal in nature, not corporeal, not physical, you can leave them an offering. You can leave them an offering outside. If you would more likely encounter them outside, you can leave them an offering on a spot in your home that you've designated for that purpose, some kind of small altar. Could be an ancestor altar. It could be the place where all of your cat statues are. I don't know. If it's a feline spirit that has attracted you, maybe you've got some cat art, leave it there. If it is something that will spoil over time, you're just looking for that spirit to capture the energy of the offering you've made. So you don't need to leave it there until it goes bad. You just leave it there for a day and let them absorb the energy of the offering, and then you can dispose of it. In many cultures, disposing of it includes eating it yourself. There are absolutely temples where people leave food offerings, and those are gathered up at the end of the day, and that is part of the food that the people who take care of the temple eat. The spiritual side has been offered up to the deity the temple is meant to help you worship. The corporeal part of the food, the physical part of the food, goes to the body of the person who maintains the temple so that you have a place to do this. So it's perfectly fair to leave something out for a day, and then at the end of the day or at the next morning, take that food yourself and eat what is left. It will still be nutritious. It will still be good for you. You've simply shared the magical essence of that with whomever you're giving this gift to. Again, could be an animal, a totem animal of yours, could be an ancestor, could be a deity. Those are all perfectly fine. Could be angels that you've interacted with. Those are all perfectly fine things to leave those kinds of gifts for. So this time of year for me, just to wrap up this part, is absolutely about reflecting on the year, being grateful for things that went well, and looking at the lessons that can be learned from that. What should we do moving forward? Looking at the things that did not go so well and learning from those too, and maybe making some personal changes in how one approaches issues in life. We are all a work in progress. We're all learning. We're all growing. Give yourself permission to have those experiences and to analyze them and actually figure out how to do better next time, we hope. And really keep trying. That's the real thing. One of the best parts about Magus Books to me has always been that we don't make a demand of your skill level. We don't make a demand of your personality. We don't make a demand of how you present yourself. We want you to be who you really are and to be the best version of you can be, knowing that that's always a dynamic, changing balance. It's never going to be one thing and only one thing. And that's actually part of what makes you incredible. That ability to have many facets and to grow and to change, that's what makes being human as amazing as it is. So embrace everything about yourself. Embrace that shadow side, embrace that light side, and grow. Use them to grow. It is when they interact that we actually reach growth. If everything is light all of the time, then everything is static and nothing changes. And when nothing changes, that's when things fall apart and decay, because the universe wants light and dark interacting, wants them to be places we turn to for evolution, for growth. And if you completely deny one of those aspects, the light or the dark, the other aspect will decay and evolve into the one you're avoiding. And actually, that can be a stronger experience. That can be an explosion of things you have been avoiding for years. So please don't do that to yourself. Please explore those places and spaces. Give yourself permission to see those places where maybe you need a little lift, a little boost. Maybe you need to shine a little flashlight on that spot to bring balance to it, to give yourself permission to see the positive side. There's an exercise I once read about that I think is actually a really good one. It asks people to keep a notebook with them. I would do this on my phone today, but at the time, a notebook with them, just a small one, and write down personality traits they have as they go through their day for a week. I think it was a week. It could have been longer, but it was definitely at least a week. And at the end of that period, the next step in the exercise was to decide if it was a positive trait or a negative trait that they had expressed. They could say impatience, they could say anger, they could say smiling at everybody, they could say, you might just substitute in the word friendly for that. But all of the different aspects of who they are as they occur to them throughout that time period, they would write them all down and then assign, is this a positive trait or a negative trait? And then step number 3, they would organize them by the 4 elements. Is this a trait you would associate with the earth, with stability, with silence, with calm? Is this a trait that you would associate with air, intellectualism, thought, communication, things along those lines? Is this a trait you'd associate with fire? Is it about passion and drive? Is this a trait you'd associate with water, more about the subconscious and emotions? And you would sort of do this little map, if you will, whether you like it in a list form or you like it in a more scattered format. You basically make a little map. And what most people found from what I read and was told is that they would find that there would be synonyms in each of these 4 areas, because a trait can be good or it can be bad depending on how it's used. If you get angry about something and the anger promotes you, motivates you to get through something or make a change about something, it was useful anger. Really easy example, someone cuts you off in traffic, you get angry, all of that anger energy speeds up your reaction time, and you are not in an auto accident because you had this whole body, mind, spirit reaction to getting cut off in traffic. It saved your life potentially, right? That is not bad anger. Now, if 20 minutes later when you park in the parking lot at work, are you still angry? Let it go. That is not good anger, because then you go into work and you snap at the first person you see maybe, and so you've written them both down, and one is positive and one is negative. It's a really interesting exercise to do. So if you get a chance and have the capacity to try it out, I do recommend it. The last step in that exercise is to look and see if there's an element where you just don't have a lot going on, or where it all appears to be negative and you can't envision a positive version of those traits that you've actually experienced or conveyed to the outside world, to the world outside your own head and body. And then it asks you to take a look at that and to explore that to see if there's more about yourself you can learn so that you have a more balanced approach. And that's the goal of this particular exercise for the person who communicated it and wrote it down. It was about finding a more balanced approach to life using the 4 elements of ancient Greece of air, fire, water, and earth, which you could sum up as knowledge, passion, the subconscious or emotions, and calm. So those are my big thoughts for the day. We should probably have a secret shopping word for me to leave up by the register for you guys. So 10% off if, when you come to make your purchase, no other discounts apply, of course, if you say the word elements. It's the plural. We have 4 elements in the Greek system, so elements will be the word. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I will see you all tomorrow if you like for the little short on herbalism. Again, leave a comment. If I see it in time, I will definitely focus on an herb that's been requested. So with that, have a wonderful week and blessed be.